rubbish day out here, but let's get it done. We're into part 2 of our UHF and CVAM install. Today we want to get the units in. So first things up, we need to remove the dash and the stereo surround. We're going to use that DIN pocket. Let's get into it. Right, so we were talking about putting it up there with the sunroof controls. And I've got the unit down here, and to be honest, it actually looks quite nice in there, but it doesn't fit. The cable sticks out too much right where that's supposed to mount up, and the mirror joins in there. So unfortunately it's in there really snug. You'd almost not need to screw it in there. Oh yeah, it works but it doesn't work. You might say, oh well, you know, if you move it further down the aerial won't be in the way, but this is already down quite far, and if you go any further forward you're going to get in the way of sunroof controls and the light. You know, we'd have to come all the way almost out to the edge. Even then, you still need a right angle piece, and now it's starting to look a bit too, it's just coming out a bit too far. It's a real shame actually, because I think they could look quite mint like that. Oh well. I would just like to say I've worked on a few dashes in the past, and the Landcruiser is one of my least favourite. It's really difficult to get a lot of these switches out, and the way this whole one piece mounts around the steering wheel is really not easy to get at or easy to remove. Even once all the stuff is taken out, you like got to be real careful you don't break it. So thumbs down to Landcruiser for this dash. Should have made it one piece here and the second piece on the right hand side, but oh well, we'll carry on. Like I said, you got to be super careful, otherwise you'll break it, which is exactly what I've done. I've split it in here. Don't know if you can see that. Yep, pain in the ass. Doesn't really come out much other way. Alright, so we've got our stereo out, we've got our DIN pocket out from underneath. We'll go and get our new unit and check how that's going to fit up, and then figure out where we're going to wire it to. Now we want to wire it off the ignition, but on a switch, so you can turn it off when you're not using it. There are some screw holes in there. They don't line up too flash. It's a bit too loose, I reckon. These two smaller screw holes line up where a couple of these tabs are, so you'd have to unbend the tabs and then pop the screws in there with some nice big washers, and that where it sort of sits flush with the stereo at the same time. So we need to bend our tabs on this bracket.
Last Christmas, I sent to you from England
So it is very snug in there, but it's sitting nicely. It's nice in line, and it looks good. But I don't know if you can see, but the brackets are kind of bent inwards. And the next problem I may experience is when I go to bolt this back up, these two screw holes don't line up with how they're supposed to go in. Right, that's on. Let's get our power going. Right, so on our factory stereo loom here, the red one is ignition. We'll switch power, which comes back to this pink one on the back here. So we're going to tap into that. We'll use that for our power source. These have a 3 amp fuse in them. We'll earth this up the back here in one of these bolts. And we'll put a switch on the end of this and then tap that into there. Right, bit of a change in plans. We are going to run the power through the same switch panel that runs this fridge and the phone charger and so forth. We're going to run our control through that, and that's easy. We can wire, put our wires straight under our gearbox, gear sticks around under the center console to those. There's already a 12 volt battery on ignition with a distribution block, so real simple. And there's already switches there, so we don't have to try and figure out where we're going to put a switch in the front here. So we'll do that, but we've lost too much light, so we'll leave that for tomorrow. Alright, day 2, another miserable afternoon. It's actually raining this time, so we're a bit stuck in here as if we weren't already limited before. Quickly make the most of this daylight. We're going to remove our center console to run our wires under and hook them up, and that might be all we can get done for now. And then when the rain stops, we'll get them from the other side, thread our cables behind the glove box and so forth, and out the center console area. So we'll get into that. So because it's got a plug on that end, which is right up next to the unit itself, we might put a plug somewhere in here so we can permanently mount that under the base of this where there's power and earth. And then because it's a single unit that can be removed and the wires need to go under this console, wire it up, put a plug on the end, chop it, wire that bit up to our fridge holder, and then stick it all together when we chuck it back in. So we'll go and put this in the on a bench and get to work. The weather is really starting to hinder us a bit in our productivity with this job, but let's get back into it. We've just got our center console piece here that I did a bit of work on last night. Drilled a couple of holes out, make it easier to mount, remove and so forth. It's a bit of a pain to get in and out. We're just going to do a bit of wiring on this and prep it, and we need to get our antenna cables up behind the glove box and through where the stereo goes. Other than that, everything can be done inside the vehicle, but the rain and the wind, which is quite strong as well, it's really starting to slow me down because we're on day 3. Okay, so our antennas are in. That's our antenna and power for one unit, and the other antenna and power for the other unit here. Power wires are going to come through here, power off this ignition, which is in our distribution block in our center console, and our switches will be on here too. That's just going to go back up under there to our units. Go back in now. Our head unit and so forth can all be cabled back in, so we'll get this looking a bit tidier, and then we can do our wiring and the switches afterwards. Let's do it. Now, we want to obviously check the unit's going to work and it's all going to boot up. It's in there as it should be, bolted all up. But just in case our wires are all too cramped in there, we've knocked something out, something's not right, we're going to test it before we put it all back together. So we're going to do that because we know that the shorter of these two wires is that unit up there. It had to travel further, so we've got positive and negative. So we've got this cable here, this is our positive on from our ignition. Okay, so we're going to connect those together just roughly, as long as we make sure that it's not going to touch anything else. Make sure any other cables that you know do other functions that may have been unplugged or you may have used aren't touching anything dangerous. We've got two ends of one of our plugs down there, but they're sitting there doing nothing. Everything else is in a safe state. This is pretty much the only dangerous live wire we're going to have when we turn the ignition on. So we'll turn the ignition on. Starts up straight away. What doesn't make sense to me is it's not earthed. So what's it earthing on? Maybe it's earth on the unit itself. Which is kind of cool. Didn't know that would be like that. Yeah, so just straight on there with the power, look at that. Don't even need to earth it, it's earthed in the body. That's cool. One less terminal we got to set up. And the other one, the mini one, the mini UHF, that is going to be all screwed into plastic, so it's not going to be earthed anyway. We definitely will have to hook up the earth cable for that. We might just do this just at the same time. But yep, she's all good. She works, she turns on, that's what we want. What I really like, that I'm just looking at this unit, is it shows you the frequency for the channel you're on. That's cool. So channel 11, 26.45 megahertz. Channel 12, 26.47 megahertz. That's actually pretty cool, because I've got a handheld police scanner. I can tune it into these frequencies and I can use it as a standalone unit when I'm out full driving. So definite bonus of having a full done unit. Right, let's carry on. Alright, so we're losing daylight rapidly here. So I'm just going to explain what we're going to do, because you might not be able to see it. We've got our hole drill bit, and we're going to do a nice little hole next to the tunnel on our gearbox surround I noticed a bit of wear on that ignition wire I was using, and that's because it's been clamped down between the tunnel and my custom center console, so I don't want that to wear through. I'm going to drill a hole, put some conduit, and dedicate a little spot for those wires to go through center. We've got some more to go through now, and then we've got our little ring terminal, and we will get that wired in and onto our earth. And that's pretty much it. Put our dash back together with all our switches, put our center console and our fridge back together. That's all been prepped in the garage, so she's ready to go. So we'll do that. I use what's called dual wall heat shrink. It's really good stuff. And so dual wall, so it's your heat shrink, so your plastic, but also has a layer of glue on the inside, which helps to keep everything together. Honestly, never gone back to normal heat shrink since. Right, got out the big guns of my lighting department. I decided I've had enough of working in the dark. So this is detachable in my garage, and I thought it would just be easier if we can all see what's going on. So I've gone and unplugged it, and now we can finish our job, eh? Man, I wish I'd thought of this light yesterday. Anyways, this is the conduit I want to use. I don't know if you can see, but this is our hole down here. Still needs to be a little bit bigger. This might look quite funky too when it goes through there. So, bigger hole. Up to about 16 mil. So you may or may not have noticed there, I did use the lighter to just cut through that tape. It was annoying me. And just on that note, that's electrical tape. Electrical tape really is not heat resistant at all, and you should try and avoid using it wherever possible when you're doing your wiring. Don't know why they call it electrical tape. I mean, really, it's only useful for tying shit up out the way. But whenever joining wires together and so forth, don't wrap them up in electrical tape. Wrap them up in proper heat shrink. Far more resilient to heat, and yeah, just a lot stronger in general. So just a tip. Right, that's all done, ready to go. It's our plug. Excuse the mess under there, we're never going to see that again. It's earthed on the bottom there. Those are our two power wires to both of our plugs, top one and the bottom one. We're going to clean up a bit of this mess because there's stuff everywhere here. Bring our center console back in.
They see they see. Your life is a lie. 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 Yeah, your life is a lie. 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 Yeah, your life is a lie.
Alright, so our switch is wired up. We made use of one of our switches on here, which originally we had two different switches to two different things. We hooked up the lights and the phone charger at the back to one switch, and now we've used the other switch for our radios. Nice and tidy, and I haven't had to worry about redoing a switch up the front. Switch is all wired in, it's hardwired in as it will be when it's finished. Minus putting the dash back together. Time to do another test. Unit A and Unit B. Switch is off, so we're going to turn our ignition on. Alright, still off, off, off. This is the switch for it. Turns on and turns on. This one colour is on orange as well, so they're both on orange. Turn them off. Turn them on. Sweet. Stuck. Done. Alright. Now we just got to put everything back together and mount that into place. This, just move that out of the way, is going to go be screwed up right under there. It's got a little spot. There's heaps of room there and easy access to it, and it's not in the way of anything. Doesn't make the cabling and everything easy. I don't like sticking things up on the dash, especially if you want to change it in the future. It creates a lot of holes and stuff that just looks ugly, and also things are more likely to be stolen. Vehicles more likely to be broken into if they can see everything that's worth money on the dash. So I'll call that a day. You guys don't need to see how to put the dash back together. As you saw when I pulled it apart, I did end up breaking it, so that's been gluing for the last couple of days. Can't see the crack from the front, so hopefully it'll look nice still when I put it back together. Yeah, thank you for watching. Go and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to click on that little bell so you'll see all my next videos coming out. And leave any comments below if you have any questions, or have any better ways of doing it. If you haven't seen it already, go and check this video out. There is a video on my channel for the custom Waco center console. Cheers. In just case you guys want to see how this finished out, it looks quite nice, in my opinion. Looks a little bit futuristic and robotic with this coming out the side there. So yeah, super stoked with how that looks. Something a bit different, you know. I like doing different things. Cheers.